To the XLNC Esports Fall Mid-League Week 7 Capedogs Valor versus Bucky's Stratosphere. We have a tie match here, as you can see on the standings to my left. And to my right, we have a man that you guys may have met before. I have casted with this man before on XLNC. We have Shinkari, the play-by-play for today's matches.
Hello, it's good to be back. I'm super excited to cast some mid-league today. Really excited to be here on Excellency. And I'm really, you know what? I'm really happy to be here with Shibby. Honestly, you know, just a swell guy all around. Gotta be an awesome time.
Ooh, showering me with the compliments early. Oh, you're looking for flattery points here, and they're definitely working, Shinkari, as we're actually going to get, like I said, into a very heated matchup. I personally think that these two teams who are tied 9-9 right now, this series pretty much determines who gets the 4th seed and who gets the 5th or 6th seed, because the rest of the schedule out for these teams are fairly easy, right?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I mean, the two teams have had at least Bucky Stratosphere has not had the greatest of luck with some folks who are lower on the table. But you know, it just that's my only real like hang up about this one particular, like the future of of these teams here. But yeah, I mean, these two teams here both are coming off of a win and a loss here off of their blocks at 3 here, and they're both tied up. You know, coming out of this on top with at least 2 wins under your belt definitely puts you much higher in the standings, obviously, than your opponent who's coming out of here with 2 losses, right?
Yeah. And we are actually going to get right into the draft. And like you said, right, winning more games, which is higher in the standings, destroying the Nexus wins you the games, right? Very high level analysis. Yeah.
The most important 50 gold.
Yeah, truly. Forget cannons, forget any casters, forget all the cannons. Hit the Nexus and you'll have your item. As Capedogs is going to come out with a Thresh ban on the blue side. I don't really mind that ban. What a lot of teams like to do is, you know, usually blue side will take a really OP pick, like Zinzao in this case. Talia is very strong this patch, and usually the red side will rotate like a support / ADC in this case, most likely a Thresh plus a Philios. As Bucky's is just gonna go Kled Lulu, and those are pocket picks, aren't they?
Yeah, there are a lot of these. Are actually all. Before I went in here, I like noted down like a lot of the one-trick champions that got picked here, and literally all of them are being banned right now. So Thresh is being banned away from Reserved for You. Samir is being banned away from Macro Beast, and I'm predicting a Jinx ban. Do we see a Jinx ban on the Bucky side for Capedogs Valor? It's the last one trick available. Is it there? Oh, okay. Jarvan the 4th. That's a good jungle ban right here. To finish off just really quickly. Manhero-chan, that's the Lulu ban right there, and Kled being banned away from Demon Prince. Obviously 521 games, literally the most games out of anyone here played on a single champion out of everyone here. So picking a bunch of good champions off the board, some comfort picks as well, but going to first pick the Amumu support.
Yeah, it's almost always support, right? It's never, it can be flexed in the jungle, but it's just so strong right now. With that double Q lockup, I mean, the fact that he can have so much impact in team fights now, where he can Q onto somebody, you, and then Q that same person again. He has a lot of good single target lockdown and very just good AoE lockdown. As we see Bucky actually pick up the Rel here. Alistar's open, Yona's open, but Rel here I think just allows them to try to engage onto this Amumu super early. Rel, somebody that gets a lot of tanky stats when she transforms, pretty much matching Amumu's tankiness with the Tantrum and the Aftershock and the reduced basic attacks. Both of these, I mean, I'm expecting a brawl in the bot lane.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God. Yeah, with a Misfortune there as well. Yeah, holy moly. That's a wombo combo bot lane if I've ever seen one. It also takes Misfortune off the table to combo with Amumu here. There are still some champions that do really well into the Curse of the Sad Mummy, obviously, but I'm really liking this Rel Misfortune pickup here. I think Rel is a very strong champion. I really love Magnet Storm. It's just, you know, once again, when we talk about Rel, when we talk about even Leona as well, we have to talk about them being very binary. You know, they go in and then it's very hard for them to get out. So once they go in, they're committed, and that fight is still happening whether it's bad or not. But it looks like the answer to this bot lane is going to be Ziggs and Shen.
Yeah, Ziggs can be flexed around still from that mid to bot lane. Zigzamumu, it's a nice lane. It pretty much functions the same way as Nautilus Ziggs, where you lock somebody down, you CC them, and you just get the guaranteed damage with the bouncing bomb, the mines, and once you hit level 6, it's guaranteed. Curse of the Sad Mummy into Ziggs bomb, you're gonna land both of those abilities.
Ooh.
It is a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage.
Ooh,
Set. Yeah,
Mamma mia!
I want to see it. I want to see it if they can actually pull it off, like a 3 or 4 man. It'll be really nice. But I know a lot of teams get that timing down because the Ziggs bomb takes a little bit of time. It has a little bit of hang time, and Curse of the Sad Mummy, it's like pretty much instant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like kind of minutia there almost at that point, right? Because like I feel like you're still getting hit with the bomb after you get hit by the Curse of the Sad Mummy. There's like very little you can do unless the Ziggs is like centering it directly where a Mumu is, as opposed to like where an enemy champion is.
Yeah. Oh, as we see the Jinx and Tryndamere being banged out. So no Tryndamere mid, no shenanigans there. That is a champion that I've been hearing all throughout the grapevine, the forums. Oh, Tryndamere mid, Tryndamere mid, Tryndamere mid. I still don't see it anywhere in any of these amateur leagues just yet. Jinx being banned out as well. So like you said, Comfort's being banned out. Galio, Echo, very, very strong mid lane bans coming out from Capedogs. They're trying to reduce that global pressure and also just that kill threat that Echo has.
Yeah, for sure.
Nocturne.
Nocturne actually really good pickup here, especially after all of the globals that have been taken off the map, right? Like you said with the Galio here. Galio also I think is really, really strong, especially after the Idol of Durand buffs to Galio as well. It's just a little weird to me because like Galio is just such a great follow-up to an engage, and Shanna kind of already does that. So once again, but Nocturne locking in here really good, and Akshan locking in here. Okay.
Do you like that champion? You sound like you hate that champion.
Okay, look, I have gone on there are a lot of people I know who, when I talk to them about Akshan and what he does, and be like, oh, like, and like he's really strong now. Like a lot of folks have been picking him up, and like his burst damage has been pretty solid, and like his mobility is really cool. But like, in my opinion, from like a design perspective of like, what does this champion do? Not so much like is he balanced against other things? He just does too much. Right, the grappling hook is so cool, but like the fact that his passive is Vayne and Lucian at the same time, and also he has Sivir Q but better, and then he also has invisibility, and then he can resurrect his whole team. It's like, hey man, what if we took like 5 champions and put them into one, and then gave him this one really cool ability, and then he does a bunch of other things, and then also he's the most Mary Sue character we've ever put into canon of League of Legends. Boom, I said it.
I mean, he is a mishmash of characters, right? Like you said, you went down the list of ADCs. He's also got the Camille hook shot, essentially is what you said, right? Like the rope. His ultimate is a Caitlyn R, right? With a Gatling gun. It gets very, very convoluted, and I definitely see what you're saying, right? Yeah. He's just a bunch of champions, all the cool mechanics from all the other champions mixed into one, and he feels very, I would say the word is overloaded. His kit is very overloaded, and that's a term we throw around and we hear a lot in League of Legends, and it can be used a little bit excessively, but definitely this champion's overloaded, and he is really good. And I've been actually, clamoring on the XLNC like podcasts and everything, saying, where's the Akshan? Where's the new picks? Why is there so much reluctance in picking these new champions? And Capedogs, they've answered. They said, okay, we'll pick you the Akshan, Shibby. And I want to see him in this mid lane, and I really want to see him kind of try to shine. He's going to go against this Anivia, so not too much kill threat, but I expect what most Akshans will be doing is just roaming with that, like you said, invis. They can stick close to the wall, get the move speed on somebody that has either recently killed an enemy or killed their ally, and they can just instantly res you and instantly get a lot of move speed going towards you. So I want to see how this Akshan actually navigates both the laning phase and just the early game.
Yeah, I mean, this early game is, I think, is going to be pretty rough. I think this is one of those matchups that Anivia is actually pretty good into. Akshan, one of his biggest weaknesses is that he has the lowest range out of any marksman in the game. So he has to be real, even though it's a ranged versus ranged matchup, he's got to be real close to those minions in order to actually farm them. So he's going to be within a range of a lot of Anivia's poke damage. And then once level 6 happens, I feel like Akshan, like, comeuppance doesn't really do a whole lot against Anivia, especially mostly if she has her egg active. If she becomes Eggnivia, then that big ultimate that's supposed to like really finish off the kill and get that comeuppance don't work. Anivia just becomes an egg, you know?
Yeah, and also just the stalling power of Egg, right? Like, it allows Nocturne to come in and try to just sneak a kill in, and if the Akshan looks to greed. Being the lowest range as well, Anivia can really get those electrocute procs off really, really quickly and really consistently, I think is the key, right? Because I've seen most Anivias and most high-low Anivias, specifically, obviously, Froggen, but a bunch of others, they pretty much always take electrocute just to threaten that, like, level 2, level 3 kill power, where they just kind of hit you with one auto, Q, E, or E auto, or QE auto, right? And just look to get a bunch of damage off early, and that just allows her to have more safety in the laning phase. Oddly enough, this like mage that's supposed to play super safe becomes safer because she's taking an offensive minded rune or a more aggressive rune, rather than a lot of Anivias who you used to see take like Comet, or they would take Phase Rush, right, for the safety, but they realize their trading is so much more powerful than people give them credit for.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes your offense does just become a healing spell at some point, right? Like, the more damage you do, the less likely your opponent is going to try to come in and fight you, right? So therefore you're taking less damage, ergo healing spell, you're welcome. And yeah, I totally agree. Like, that's definitely like the best thing that you could be doing if you have like positive tradings, and especially with this Anivia with if they opt to take electrocute, like, yeah, stun icicle auto is like an incredibly easy combo to land on a marksman that has insanely low range.
Yeah, unless he's forcing the Akshan to use his E defensively, right, or using it to dodge the Q, the snowball, or not snowball, it's giant crystallized ball, right? The stun. You're forcing him to use that ability offensively. You're forcing him to go in on you. If you have your Nocturne shadowing you, like the gank setup for this mid lane, I'm gonna feel so bad for this Akshan, because it's gonna be wall into Nocturne R into you're pretty much dead if you don't have E ready. Just the ability to burst him out so quickly with, like you said, electrocute Anivia, plus most likely it's lethal tempo Nocturne. That RQ damage is just so much burst.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think. Yeah, I think we've talked a whole lot about this mid lane here. Let's take a look at other parts of the map, because I don't think we've talked about the Shen versus Set matchup too much, but I think to me it seems pretty shut and closed. Like, it's really hard for Set to really get out any sort of decent damage against Shen, and Shen isn't really known to be dealing like a whole lot of damage over long periods of time, which Set wants to build up that grit meter. Shen just kind of comes in, throws down the zone, pops the Q to have the sword go through you, right? Throws down the zone, throws a couple autos, that's it. Poof, done. Don't want to fight no more.
Yeah, the skill matchup or the mechanics here is that Set really has to try to bait the W out from Shen, essentially that zone, like you said, and he has to pull him out. He has to pull him out and reliably pull him out far enough to where Set can also get his auto Q auto reset, so he can try to get 3 to 4 autos off, and then any damage that's traded back, he obviously just haymakers. The trick for Shen is to just E the haymaker, right? So he never E's unless he's under turret, unless the Set is under turret, or he E's away from the haymaker. That way he doesn't, if at the very least he's not getting hit by the true damage sweet spot and he's getting hit by the outskirts. It's more on the Set to make this matchup beneficial for him, while Shen kind of just has to press a couple buttons like on time, where it's like Set has to pull him, has to auto Q auto, get the haymaker off, he has to do all this crazy stuff, where even if Shen gets pulled out, he can just walk back into his zone like you said.
Yeah, and I think that's like mechanically it's there. It's just whether or not Demon Prince is going to really follow up on this, right? Because we talked about earlier how that Kled ban was targeted at Demon Prince. It was 521 games on the Kled, 53% win rate, real nice numbers. But once we get past that, we're looking at a Shen with 14 games, right? It's just complete. I feel like night and day would be an understatement, right? Almost. It's between these two kind of picks here. It's technically is their second most comfortable champion, but with regards to amount of time put into the champion, it just doesn't seem equal at all. So it's good that the matchup for the Shen is easy to execute on, and you know, it's not like a whole lot of other top lane things won't be like able to be executed on, right? Just kind of lane management and stuff like that. But like, you know, we have to see whether or not Demon Prince is going to deliver on this Shen.
Yeah, and Shen doesn't have the freedom to just kind of ult somebody in his lane. He has to kind of try to hide in the bush, or he kind of has to try to, you know, if he's going to look to ult somebody, he has to kind of play it more proactively, where he's telling his team like, hey, go in, I'm in a safe spot to ult. Because if, you know, a lot of Shens, we see it in solo queue, I know you guys see it in your solo queue games, they'll just ult like right in the middle of their lane without really any regard to what the enemy can do and how to interrupt it. And Set has multiple ways, right? The body slam, the pull, like he doesn't have to commit too much, just interrupt a very, very key cooldown. And yeah, you get the shield, even if Shen casts it, but most of the time you want to use the man advantage you get from the Shen teleport. You know, he can follow up with a taunt immediately and really just swing battles or swing skirmishes or fights. I'm going to look to Bucky's to really try to play the classic strategy, to play towards the global is what everybody says. Oh, just play towards the global. That way they can't use it. But that's really hard, right? Shens are super safe in lane, like you said. Auto blocks, E-taunt, has flash up if he needs to, gets a shield from his Q. Just a very tanky individual as that. Bot lane is, like, we can talk about bot lane, Shinkari, but we pretty much predicted it. It's just going to be an all-out brawl, scrappy, right? You have two supports that really want to go in, that really want to land their CC, and you have two bot laners that can follow up on the CC very, very well. Make it rain plus auto reset plus Q. If this MF is doing her auto passive resets correctly, where she's autoing, then autoing a minion, then autoing again, it can pump out a lot of damage unexpectedly in a very quick amount of time.
Yeah. For sure, but it looks like we're just going to go to a quick intermission really quick as we get into the rift here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the XLNC Mid-League matchup. We've got the Capedog Valors versus Bucky Stratospheres. I am your color caster, Pone Star should be here with my play-by-play, the one, the only, Shinkari.
Wow, the one and only. That's incredible. I mean, I assume I'm the one and only. I hope there's no other Shinkaris out there. Otherwise, I'd have to change my name. But, you know, hi. Hello. We have Capedogs Valor on the blue side. We got Bucky Stratosphere on the red. We got a 5-point start. I'm ready to get this underway.
Two teams, 5-point starting. That's usually what happens in game one. Shinkari, if you don't know, that's the XLNC pretty much special. The invades, you don't get the invades to level 2, level 3. You don't get the Gouda, the mozzarella, right? That cheesy goodness until the later games, because everybody starts feeling a little bit more confident, I would say, or they're shaking the nerves off the rust. So 5-point starts for both, but we have some interesting bot lane summoners.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting seeing the exhaust come down from Amumu here. I think that's a little interesting, considering like if Misfortune is going to be doing a lot of damage, a lot of the times you can just interrupt it because you're Amumu and have 3 stuns. Also, Satchel Charge will do that too. It's also interesting to see the Sapphire Crystal start. Am I old? Is that what Ziggs is doing now? Just rushing tier or something?
I think that's what they do. Usually they go Sapphire Crystal into the refillable potion, which is what he did. Yeah, getting that early tier start is nice. It allows him to spam spells as well, just with his extra mana pool. I do actually think we have ran into the infamous spectator bug here, where some of the champions don't have their items. So we're gonna go into a very short break so we can fix the spectator bug right now, because even on my screen the champions are invisible as well. So yeah, just short break. We'll pause everything up. We'll get right back to it. Welcome back, everybody. We have a brawl in the bot lane right now. We're trying to land some Qs here.
Yeah, Manhara-chan getting really close. Macro Beast really feeling the pain of this bot lane here. I mean, yeah, the beginning of this fight was Rel initiating onto the Amumu here, but really not being able to get that follow-up there. So it's a real good trade in favor of Bucky Stratosphere in the bot lane. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great place to start for sure.
Yeah, and something we didn't really touch up upon is the counter punch that Amumu has, right? Because he's so tanky and because he's inherently doesn't really need to proc the aftershock immediately, even if he's taking damage. If he does get engaged on, it's not like a Sona or an Annie or something, as actually Slim Kim might get ganked here.
Oh, yeah. Slim Kim's in some trouble here. Gonna get that grit shield, go underneath turret as well. Doesn't actually find the kill, and that might actually be smelling death as Zongi coming in on the Olaf. First blood up in the top lane. A real greedy play there. Doesn't really pay off as King Yeetlove looking for a Ray here. Already dealing a decent chunk of burst damage. It doesn't look like they're able to get a whole lot of follow-up there. So Nocturne's just going to take a whole bunch, start chugging some potions, and get away from this Akshan in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Array feeling the pressure now, right? He took Ignite as a jungler, didn't take the flash, so he has to start making things work really quickly, get the most value out of that. And you saw, like you said, reserved for you.
Oh, yeah, I might actually be doing it right now as Menhera-chan taking a whole bunch of damage. Rel really being able to do well, but that's the binary nature right there. Really hard for her to get out. She's looking for the re-engage, but can't quite find his Confounder is going to be able to find the kill. Right now coming in, has to deal with the Yeetlove. It's going to get the damage off the recoil. He's looking for more. Macro Beast is actually really low, but the auto attacks didn't go on to Misfortune, so not going to get that burst damage, but is far away enough to go back into the Tri-Brush, and it's a 2-for-0 in the bot lane.
Oh, they're gonna dive her. Yeah, she's dead here.
Oh yeah, Macro Beast. Oh no, Slim Kim is gonna be feeling the pain in the top lane. Oh my gosh, 5 kills for Capedogs coming into this already. Not even 5 minutes into this game, we have 5 kills already.
Yeah, and that's just unfortunate. Like you said, the binary nature of this Rel, and just that overloaded champion in the mid lane, the Akshan, right? Just does too much. Is able to TP, picks up 2 nice kills for himself. All right, was able to get the reset on his hook shot, or it's not called hook shot. His swing, his grapple, and was able to just initiate that dive. And Macro Beast really couldn't do anything. Nocturne wasn't there. Obviously, he was dead. Had the ignite, wasn't able to use it. You would think Nocturne had flash there. He probably lives.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, it's really. I don't want to say that it's particularly bad, because I feel like I've seen junglers and even some other champions recently not even go for flash and just go for double of whatever they already have, right? To just double up on offensives. Like, because even in some cases we've seen like Gwen's go teleport and ignite right in the top lane. So this isn't like super far fetched, but the gamble here is that if you're taking ignite, you have to be getting the kills early. And like looking at what we already have, doesn't look like that's happening so far.
Looks like the kills are going on to the other side, and maybe Array is just hoping for that level 6 burst that we mentioned, right? His ultimate into Q into ignite. That's going to be so much damage, assuming he's also going challenging smite. So that's a double dot effect, as he's just hanging out here, and they know he's here. This is a counter waiting to happen.
Yeah, Yeetlove already starts it off here. Already a decent chunk of damage onto Array. Gets the fear off. The hook does not. The axe doesn't land. They're looking for more flashes over the Anivia wall. Looking for Jesus here as he's gonna pop the egg. And that's about the most that they're gonna get off this gank. But I mean, if you're Array at this stage of the game, this has got to be just a bunch of L's that you have to take in a situation where you felt like you could have been winning.
Yeah, and Olaf is also one of those like really polarizing champions where he's known for his super strong early game, his super strong like dueling potential. Like, he's one of those champions that gets stronger, obviously, as he gets lower in HP, right? He gets the lifesteal, the attack speed. He can really bait out fights and live very long. And picking an Ignite jungler into that just doesn't feel good, because he doesn't need Ignite to kill you, as
yeah, Rel is going to dive in here. Actually, a really good set of CC here. Has the follow-up with Rel. Ray's going to pick up 1 kill. That's going to be the second takedown here, as King Yeetlove is going to get the revive onto Olaf here. Macro Beast looking for this last bit of damage. Going to be able to find it thanks to a little bit of nudge from the Anivia wall, I think. Macro Beast now looking for Confounder here. Is going to throw a bunch of abilities past Misfortune here. Looking for that last auto that's going to be able to land. Holy moly. Immediately turn around. 4 kills in this bot lane. Scares them off of Dragon as well. And I think they only lose 1 in the process.
Yeah, they only, I believe, lost. No, they did. I think they lost reserved, and they lost. I think that was it. Yeah, you're right. And it was a bit of a head scratcher from Confounder on the Ziggs, right? Actually,
wait a minute. Speaking of which, oh no.
I was
no.
just about to get into the point. I was like, why didn't he use his abilities? Like, I'm not allowed to speak. Zongi is going to fight here. We have 2 fights on different fronts.
Yeah, Confounder is now fighting Jesus here as they're now underneath. Yep, that's going to be the last bit of damage that they need. Zongi might going to be feared up here. That's a good stun, but it's not going to save their life this time. And Harachan is now in some trouble. Are they going to look for the tower dive? It looks like a yes with Rel underneath turret, but that's going to be the curse of the Sad Mummy. Flash forward from Anivia. Reserve for you might be falling here. That's going to be a yes, as it's a 3-for-1 in the bot lane. Ziggs, Olaf, and Amumu all fall.
Yeah, Ziggs, Olaf, Amumu, and Jesus here just making Capedogs Valor pay for their sins with their lives. 3-0-1, and I had to get it in there. You know I had to with a name like that.
Oh, yeah. No. It's good. I mean, it could, you know what's going to happen is just like we're going to get a DM. It's just like, actually, it's Jesus, and like that's not...
It's not okay, what you just said, by the way.
Yeah, actually...
3-0-1. Seven stacks on the ring as well, so he might look to upgrade that into a Magi's if he gets enough. Anivia, like you said, a super safe champion. Her egg did pop already, but it'll be up very soon. And during these team fights, if she can just stay alive, upgrade the Magi's, probably get the lost chapter that she really wants. It was 5-0 not too long ago. Now it's 9-7. Gold's about, almost even. It's a 1K gold lead for Capedogs Valor, and this early into the game, it's not a problem.
Yeah, it's really looking pretty good. I mean, 1K gold is the difference between like a completed half item right here. And then that's kind of what we're seeing across the board here. Like we have some Kindle gems, but like a bunch of like, oh, there's a null magic mantle. We got some amp tomes, right? And on the other side, we see lost chapters. We see bramble vests, noon quivers, phages and iron spike whips, like some more completed half items on the blue side, and that's really the only difference between some of these.
Yeah, and Slim Kim just aggressively trading in to Demon Prince. Going for the slam.
Yeah, looking for the showstopper as well. That's going to be the paranoia coming across as well, and Slim Kim's going to be able to pick up the first kill here. Olaf is looking for a return kill onto Slim Kim, but it can't quite get it. Double kill for Slim Kim in the top lane. Gonna get those double buffs as well. Slim Kim looking pretty good.
Yeah, Gold's dead even as well now, 18 apiece. And, what looked a little bit of scary in the beginning, what looked a bit of a one-sided show is now 9-9. Kills are on all the right members of Bucky's Stratosphere. You definitely love to see a 3-0 Anivia and a 2-2-5 Nocturne, pretty much assisting on 85% of these kills, if I want to do my math, roughly around there. So he's in on a lot of these kills and actually going for the collector rush. And look, I haven't played the game for a bit, Shinkari, but I'm not sure if you do collector rush on Nocturne. I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing either. I feel like this is just doubling down on the ignite start as well. Like if you're gonna go super aggro, then sure, executioners the collector rush is probably pretty good, but I mean, kills are tied up. We have 18 kills total at 11 minutes and 9 kills for your team. I think it's not the worst thing, but I definitely am agreeing with you that it is a little weird that you would go the collector over, say, like a mythic item this stage of the game.
Yeah, my only reasoning here maybe is why he's doing it is he just wants the most immediate power for this dragon fight, right? You'll see a lot of mid laners later into the game. Sometimes he'll just buy like 3 needlessly large rods in their inventory. And it's like, okay, why? Well, a team fight's about to happen, or dragon's up, an objective's up, and I just kind of need the most power instead of waiting on that gold for an item. Maybe that's what Nocturne's thinking here, because it is first dragon and they haven't fought over it really yet. We just had that little fight very early into the game where Bucky's was able to kind of turn it around with that kind of delayed engage from Rel. But other than that, both these teams have kind of stayed away from dragon. I guess, collector rush, sure. If you need the power, I get it as bot lane.
Yeah, that's the curse of the Sad Mummy, and also a whole bunch of damage to follow up. Macro Beast is going to be the first to fall here. Array has dashed in, but hasn't really been able to get a whole lot of kills. That's going to be Stan United coming on to Menhara-chan as well. Array is already so far away, but he's just a sliver amount of HP. Heals up a little bit from something, but yeah, Demon Prince is just going to be able to pick up the kill this time. And Anivia has come down into the bot lane, but it is way, way late. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get anything this time, but yeah, wow. 3-for-0 in the bot lane for Capedogs Valor here. That's looking real good.
Yeah, and it was Menhara-chan really that started that whole fight, right? Did the flash. I didn't know if he did the cancel where you can R then flash, or if he did just the standard flash R, right? And was able to catch both Macro Beast and Reserve for you. And Macro Beast having the heal here, it's an okay summoner still, but I think Cleanse probably would have been a little bit better just because Amumu is one of those champions that can lock you down for so long. And even when Array was right there, right? Really right at that Gromp camp, just the amount of burst damage that comes out, the amount of lockdown, like you're not allowed to counterpunch once Amumu engages onto you, and once there's a Ziggs and an Olaf barreling down your face. We saw Array try to do it, and he paid for it with his life. And really, that was just a clean 3-0 on Capedogs Valor, really understanding where their composition is strong and where they have a lot of power. But gold is still dead even after those 3 kills.
Yeah, it's still really, really close here, and I think that's mostly chalked up to a whole lot of the farming across the board for the red side. Look at the farm difference between Nocturne and Olaf, and even in the bot lane as well. We're up about 6 CS there, and nearly 12 up in the top lane, and 22 in the jungle. Like, that's some pretty big differences across the board here. And even though there's a 10 CS difference between the 2 mid laners here, like that's really the only difference is Anivia immediately swallows up just a bunch of them. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Actually, I think the main difference is really that top lane where Slimkin was pretty much allowed to farm. I think he got 3 or 4 turret plates, also got first turret gold and the local gold there, just because Shen pretty much TP'd down there twice with his ultimate and wasn't able to TP, like use his actual TP back up. So a lot of that gold is probably on top of him right now. As fight goes into the bottom lane.
Yeah, Rel is going to initiate on the Menhara-chan here, taking incredibly low. So Curse of the Sat Mummy is going to come across there now, looking for that last bit of damage. Slimkim is taking incredibly low. Bullet time's coming across. That's going to be the Mega Inferno Bomb. Slimkim now has to survive with just the Rich Shield. But 1, 2, 3, they fall one right after another. And Jesus, oh no, you do not want to be in this fight right now. Immediately has to flash away, and Array is nowhere close either. So yeah, that's a real easy 3-for-0 in this bot lane.
Yeah, and it almost looked like he got a pick onto Menhara-chan, but he got the ultimate off, got the aftershock, and a very late ultimate coming out from Macro Beast. Don't sure why he held it as Jesus is going to get dived.
Yeah, that's Anivia just immediately just taking, Demon Prince is at full HP nearly as well, so it's really not that big of a deal. They're going to be picking up their first turret, as first turret of the game was claimed to the top lane by the set, but yeah, that's first turret for them now, so it's looking pretty good.
Oh, King Eatloaf actually trading onto Array as well. He can just kill right here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely going to be a whole lot of trouble. Going to throw out the Stand United just for safety as well. Doesn't even need to use the comeuppance either. Is now Macro Beast reserved for you. Looking for King Eatloaf. Going to flash over that wall. But yeah, Akshan looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good. I think it's kind of an understatement. 4-1 has the shield bow in tow as well, and you just saw how much damage he did with the full swing. As I say that, he just eats a full Q.
Yeah, holy moly! I looked at. I was like, oh, it's the bouncing bullet. It's not going to do the whole. Wow.
Yeah,
so much damage from the misfortune.
That's that Eclipse MF coming in, right? That early game damage or that just that lethality. If you're not building any armor, which Slimkim?
Yeah, Slimkim's in some trouble. Who's literally running around trying to find one good place to leave, but there really isn't, since there's 4 people up in this top lane. Gonna use that showstopper to maybe try to get away. Gonna dash just a little bit thanks to the Gorbert. Was not gonna live for very much longer. Gonna be able to pick up that last bit of damage. Confounder is gonna be picking up the kill in the top lane. Man, the roaming goon squad right now is Yeloaf.
Solid State
coming on to Jesus and okay.
Yeah, he got discovered. They found out where he was. They're gonna actually not go for the dragon. They're gonna go for an engage onto Zongi.
Yeah, they get 1, 2, 3 stuns and unstoppable as well at the last minute there. Array taking incredibly low. Mega Inferno Bomb coming out, and Macro Beast is going to fall. Akshan's going to get the revive onto Olaf here. Reserved for use, trying to run away, but it's going to be real tough. Akshan's going to get that comeuppance. Going to get that last bit of kill here as now Anivia is the only person left. Menhara-chan flashes forward, throws out a CC to maybe catch the bird, but it looks like the bird gets the last word this time. They're going to back away.
Never mind.
I
sneaky.
I did the pun and everything, guys. Come on.
You did the thing, and unfortunately, the greater thing happened. The caster curse. Nothing can beat it. Nothing can fight it. You cannot run away from it, Shinkari. Unfortunately, an odd engage, and we didn't really talk about it in Champ Select, but who does Reserved engage onto? Can't really engage onto the Olaf. Can't really engage onto the Mumu. Can't really engage onto the Shen. And you have to believe that Ziggs. Oh, Array going for the one shot.
Yeah, they might have just answered your question here as the paranoia comes across and a very easy shutdown onto Akshan as well as Array coming in real hot with that paranoia.
Yeah, and I guess that's who they engage on, the Akshan with the Nocturne. But yeah, it feels really bad for Reserved for you because it's not like she's going to be able to follow up if Nocturne's diving like really into the backline. Ziggs is going to be playing really far back. Most likely King Yeetloaf is going to try to maximize his W passive, his stealth, and really try to look to clean up fights. And the way they're playing with this Akshan is really nice, right? They're baiting out the abilities, or baiting out's the wrong word, but Yeetloaf is waiting out a lot of Bucky Stratosphere's abilities, then coming in, then cleaning up, getting the revives if possible, getting the resets with his grapple, and really just being a menace on that backline, right? You saw how fast he got to that fight. He was in bot lane, and then the fight was happening near Dragon Pit, and he was there almost in an instant as second Herald is going to go down to Demon Princess. I think this is the only Herald that was taken, actually. The first Herald wasn't taken for any plates or anything like that. Not as valuable, but definitely going to allow them to put some map pressure on.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely agree. Like, it's really tough to engage onto this team because Amumu is just very flexible with the type of engagements that are good for him, right? Especially with Curse of the Sad Mummy up, Amumu can play reactive if he needs to, especially with 2 charges of Bandage Toss as well. If you engage onto an Amumu, immediate Curse of the Sad Mummy, just like the most immediate R press you've ever seen in your life. And so if Rel decides to like do the full stun combo onto one player, even if it's not a Mumu, right, to stop this Curse of the Sad Mummy, and even if it's not like, and they dive onto the perfect champion, right, they find out King Yeetloaf, immediate Curse of the Sad Mummy followed up by Bandage Toss is just a perfect counter engage for them to really stop whatever it is that the red team is trying to do.
Yeah, and we see, Menhara-chan really holding his R as well. Last fight, he used it specifically to stop the MF, and Slim Kim is just dead.
No, okay, Slim Kim falls here. Array is looking for maybe a bit of a sunken cost fallacy as they dive onto the Ziggs and immediately falls in a 3v1 over there. That's going to be a Curse of the Sad Mummy coming across. Bullet time in response. Not going to be a whole lot of damage. Make an Inferno Bomb. Holy moly. A lot more damage coming across. Maybe a shy kill with the Bouncing Bomb. Not going to happen this time, but with that, Baron has spawned. There's all 5 members of the blue team up and 2 members of the red team down. So they're just going to immediately jump on top of this, and look how fast it's going down.
Yeah, with Ziggs and Olaf and Akshan all here, like you said, the Vayne Lucian hit passive, it's going to go down before anybody can even get close. And a nice Baron being taken out from them, a 5.5k gold lead in Capedogs Valor's hand, 24-11. They're going to reset their gold, buy their items, and possibly look to just end the game off of this, if possible, game-winning team fight, right? They have the ability to do it. They have Curse of the Sad Mummy. They have Shen ultimate. They have Ziggs Bomb coming up pretty soon. Like, they have all the tools to just wipe you and end the game.
Yeah, and it's looking really good for them right now too. Like, there's not a whole lot of engagements that like completely shut them down. They have a lot of tools in order to fight more and more, and I think they have a pretty good 1-3-1 push as well. I mean, even sticking like Akshan in a side lane seems pretty good. Like, he has very high mobility. If he gets like tried to 1v1, he has teleport as well. Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. Shen's going top, Akshan's going bot. They have great control of these side waves here, and they have real good wave clear in the mid with Ziggs and Olaf.
Yeah, and Siege is really nice when you're doing it with Ziggs as well. You can bouncing bomb them. The range is really deceptive. You could get them off of the turret with mines as well. And obviously, we already know that Ziggs is really good at taking turrets with his W. You can just get it low enough. So yeah, like you said, they're opting for the 1-3-1. I think it's the right move. Just pressuring lanes, obviously having your Shen in a different lane away from you, pulling away from the global is really nice. And the ability for Akshan to just, enter fights so quickly with his W move speed and his move speed that he gets towards champions, or towards enemies that have recently killed one of his allies. I mean, it allows him to just split push and not really be as far away as you think he is from these fights. Probably doesn't even need to bring the teleport.
Yeah, and plus, like, the grappling hook is such a good tool as well in order to clear some ground. But immediately, because they're able to push these waves out so far, because they're so far ahead, they have really good prio on this dragon and are able to secure their first Infernal Drake of the map.
Yeah, and we have Infernal Soul coming in. It's going to be a pretty late Infernal Soul, at least. It's going to hit the 33 to 34 minute mark here, but I doubt Capedogs wanted to go that far into the game. Giving Anivia and MF time to scale is probably not what you want. It becomes harder and harder to really, get to that, mage in the mid lane, get to the bird. If you can just put out that R, get the wall in, and just starts ramping, pumping out and ramping damage onto your carries, it's going to be really hard for them to move, really hard for them to do anything. But we're a long ways away from that.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, the longer this game goes on, I think that Akshan will be able to scale pretty well, but I feel like Olaf and Ziggs will start to fall off, whereas Misfortune, especially in the lethality build, gets much, much better as Slim Kim and Array are looking to fight in the top lane, but look at Array's health bar, already taken incredibly low. Mega Inferno Bomb not even going to see the Nocturne as they are immediately going to fall. The blue team is on the other side of this turret, and Macro Beast is looking to capitalize, but oh no, it's looking like they're going to capitalize on him instead. Slim Kim trying to live with that shield for just a little bit longer. Magnastorm comes across, but the damage just isn't there. They're stunned up by the curse of the Sat Mummy now, and Slim Kim is underneath the turret looking for something in response. Another huge grit shield, but no one on the blue team fell. All 5 members are still alive and live to tell the tale of that amazing team fight underneath the turret.
Oh, Jesus versus the world here versus all 5 members of Capedogs, and actually they're just gonna back out. They're gonna push away. So for all that trouble, they got 4 kills. A top lane tier 1, and then that's it. Baron ran out. I mean, that's good, right? They get 4 kills. They put some money into their pockets, put some gold, force Bucky's Stratosphere to reset, can apply pressure onto the map with vision. As we see Nocturne possibly picking up a straggler.
Yeah, Shen might be a straggler here, but immediately dashes away. And yeah, that's how much you like to see on the Nocturne, but I'm fairly certain with the decent chunk of cooldown reduction they should have, yeah, it's not gonna be too long before we see that ultimate again. It's about gonna be up in that 76 seconds, a minute, a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, I think he'd go Ultimate Hunter as well, so he probably has all the ultimate CDR. But I think there's not really any objectives to play for, unfortunately, for Capedogs Valor. They just kind of have to look for another scrappy team fight. As Slim Kim and Array, they do have a little bit of hope. Slim Kim lives for so long, and there was a turret underneath, but his survivability, his ability to just like maybe slam a tank into the carries, if they can do that miracle engage where Set slams tanks into the carries and then Array can like possibly burst somebody out with his RQ combo, which is what they're trying to do right now. They're not seen by the Scryer's Orb. I don't know if you even want this engage, even if you get it.
They have been nearly spotted out twice now as they immediately leave, and they might have found Menhara-chan though, but might be able to flash over the wall. No, they can't. They don't have it. So this might be this might be the fight that they're looking for. Look at the amount of damage from the Mega Inferno Bomb, but they're able to find the shutdown onto Amumu here. Not a whole lot of follow-up from the blue side, but look what they're losing in the top lane. Shen is pushing so hard. They're all backing right now in order to answer this, and oh no,
so
King Yeatlove finds the kill onto Anivia. What a pickup. Real good job there. Yeah, Akshan also has stealth, just in case y'all were wondering.
Yeah, and the stealth range to detect him is kind of big, actually. It's not super small either, so he can do like what he just did there and just wait on the outskirts and just pick off any stragglers. Oh, Confounder.
Ooh, yeah. Paranoia diving on a Confounder here, going to use that satchel charge to get away. Bullet Time comes across, does a decent chunk of damage, but the rest of the blue team can immediately re-engage now because there's not a whole lot of pressure on them. They pick up one. Slim Kim pulls them back in, does a lot of damage to Stand United, is going to give him a life. Holy moly, that haymaker damage was big, but no one has fallen. Macro Beast is going to fall instead. Comeuppance is coming across onto Array. Kill! King Yeatlove is on a rampage. Now he's hopping over the wall, looking for Slim Kim, but not going to be able to find it this time. They get the turret, they get 2-3 kills, and wow, a whole lot of gold in their pockets. They're going for Baron.
Yeah, Baron again, second Baron being taken up, 27-minute mark. The first Baron was pretty much taken, I believe, at the 20.5-minute mark right now, but feels like the timings on Bucky Stratosphere's champions are just a little bit off, right? you get the Nocturne ultimate, you get the lights out onto Confounder, and then the MF ult comes out after he's already satcheled out. So I feel like if the timing is a little bit more tight, if they can, get those abilities on top of each other, if they can, possibly combo them a little bit more efficiently, that's maybe 1 or 2 or 3 more kills being picked up on the side of Bucky Stratosphere. It just feels like this team is desynced. I think is the best word I can put it.
Yeah, desync definitely does make a lot of sense here, because like I feel like a lot of these engagements have been like somewhat good, but like the follow-up has not been the best, and I always feel like Anivia is like 3 miles behind everyone here. Like everyone is like ready to go and has so much movement speed to put them into a team fight, and then Anivia is just like, okay, I'll see y'all in a bit. I'm coming.
Yeah, I'll be there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's like the walker in hand, like old person. You're waiting for them to come. I get what you're saying, right? Anivia is not like the greatest follow-up champion in terms of like diving CC, right? She's very good at like following up other people's CC, like a stun.
Yeah,
she can wall you, and she can limit your movement as they're gonna give the third dragon away, which fine ability or fine decision there to not throw the game away off of a third dragon. You see a lot of teams do that in solo queue and other leagues as well, even in pro play, right? A dragon that they have to give up, they'll go in, they'll try to take it, and they'll just lose the game off of that. So really good decision making from Bucky's. They really understand that they're behind, and I hope that they're just funneling gold onto 2 of their champions right now, either the Set and Anivia or the MF Anivia. I think that's kind of like the best strategy in my mind to really get back into a game if you're this far behind, is that you have to sack one of your carries, right? Either the top, mid, or ADC, and funnel 2 lanes of farm to one of the others, right? And really just start getting her up to speed. In this case, the Anivia, getting them up to speed, and maybe you can win off of that sort of funnel, right? It's almost akin to the hero rifle in like Valorant or CSGO. Yeah. You just give one guy a rifle, the rest of the team ecos. It's kind of the same concept.
Yeah. And I definitely agree. I think the big problem is that Anivia and even MF to a degree are very powerful when the other team has to walk into them, right? But I feel like the blue team can just stand far back and never really engage a fight, right? Like Anivia wants you to walk into her so that she can wall you off and trap you inside the ice, and especially if she does a whole lot of damage, like it's really good for that as Demon Prince engaging onto Slim Kim here. That's going to be the showstopper coming across to maybe live with a flash forward, and auto attack is going to be the kill for Demon Prince on Shen in the top lane.
And Slim Kim, someone who's not tanky, I would say, but beefier, somebody that could live really long. Now he just gets out-traded by Demon Prince, right? A 3-level lead, items onto him as Macrobase is just dead.
Love with the stand united underneath the turret with a grapple hook as well. That's a good stand. That's a good curse to the Sand Mummy as well. Jesus has gone in golden and is now turned into an egg. Double kill for the Akshan. Can they get the triple? Ziggs is going to pick that one up though. So yeah, this looks like the end of the game.
Yeah, game-winning push here, the team fight. Not really a team fight. It was kind of unfair. Akshan just kind of swung onto the MF, 3-hit passive as she died. Engage happened in the mid lane, and Slim Kim wasn't even there for any of it. First game going to be taken by Capedogs Valor at 31 minutes, 36-12. And it looked close to the beginning, Shikari.
Yeah.
And then
looked real close.
And then it wasn't. Like it really was. And then it wasn't. It was a couple bad fights coming out from Bucky Stratosphere, a couple bad engages coming from the whole team, and just Capedogs Valor able to turn it around with their counter punches, as I would like to say, right? With the Amumu, with the Akshan, with the Ziggs, and just able to really any engage that kind of happened or that was, they were caught out, right? If Olaf or Amumu were caught out, it just didn't feel like it.
Yeah, I really well that there was really not a good target to engage on for Bucky Stratosphere to engage on a Capedogs Valor here. Like there were 3 big beefy tanks, right? We got Olaf, we got Shen, we got Amumu, right? And then on top of that, they have a lot of really good reactive tools if something happens, and it was just really tough. And on top of that, they kind of had like a mismatch with their team composition, in my opinion, Bucky Stratosphere, where they had members that like really like it if you come to them, right, through the Anivia and to some degree the Misfortune, whereas you have other champions that really like going at the opponent, right, Nocturne and Rel here. So So once you had like a real tough time engaging with a team that might not be able to follow up as well, you know, combined with the fact that like the opponent's counterpunch is really good, you know, it just smelt a whole lot of disaster when that mid game rolled around and team fights needed to start happening.
Yeah, I think you put it best, right? There was no cohesion in their team comp where it felt like, Capedogs, they knew what they wanted, right? They got the Amumu, they got the lockdown for Ziggs to guarantee his damage. They had a Shen ready just in case, if they tried to focus the bot lane that was weak. And you just have Akshan and Olaf just running free, right? Akshan didn't really roam too much. Used his teleport effectively, right? Would teleport into the lanes and picked up that early triple, but he was really just laning against the Nivea, keeping her in lane, and was able to pick up, cleanup kills, just like Akshan's supposed to do. And Olaf was being a gank machine, right? Nocturne, not being the most menacing champion pre-6, reminds me of like Warwick pre-rework, where he kind of just comes in, doesn't really do anything, walks out, and he has a fear, and that's about it. But yeah, I think Olaf did a really good job of taking advantage of just Nocturne's really weak early game. Even with the Ignite, that doesn't help you necessarily in the ganks. You have to get like a flank angle or something like that. And even then, you just saw the power of Olaf versus Nocturne there.
Yeah, for sure. And you said it right too. Like the Nocturne early game, like that's the reason you're taking Ignite. Every single time I see Ignite on a champion that like could be taking something else, like maybe it's Ignite on a top laner or a mid laner, or in this case, Ignite over Flash. You're telling me that you want to fight early and as often as possible and get these kills, especially since we saw that collector rush, right? Mm-hmm. This just screams, Nocturne is screaming, hey, I want to kill them. And it just never happened. It just never happened.
Yeah, and it's super, I wouldn't say counterintuitive necessarily, but Nocturne, like one of those champions that you really want to try to farm on and hit level 6 and you have Ignite. And it's like, okay, if you play for that dream scenario where you get the R off, you get the E off, you get the challenging smite plus the Ignite off, that is a lot of damage. But unfortunately, Nocturne fell so far behind that the itemization from the enemy team just didn't allow anybody to get blown up, right? You saw how many ultimates Confounder, ate from Nocturne, and only half of his health was gone, right? He was able to satchel out. The damage wasn't there coming out from Nocturne. He wasn't able to get that one shot that he was hoping for. And once that's out the window, Nocturne's just not a champion. He's pretty useless in the team fights. He's only pretty much an ult bot, and he's only really good if you can get ahead early.
Yeah, for sure. But I believe we are going to take just a quick break as we jump into the next lobby. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.